Hey, what's cracking everybody? Welcome back to Computer Games Hardware. Today on the channel, we're doing some CGHW news, guys, because honestly, it's been a minute and there's plenty to talk about in the news. So we're going to go all the way back to last week to talk about a couple of news items because there's some pretty cool stuff that's been going on in the news lately. So let's get stuck into it. Big happy Easter for everyone who celebrates it. I am completely full of chocolate and food. We had a long weekend break here over the Easter period. So if you celebrate, all the best to you. And happy birthday to Computer Game Sophia, who turned 2. She's 2 now, so she's a real big girl, and she's been real cheeky and having a very good time. So happy birthday, honey. Love you. All right, first up in the news, guys, it is official. The AM4 platform has become one of the greatest supported platforms of all time, with AMD announcing last week at its AMD Advantage Club meeting in China, which is like a press meeting for all AMD partners, that they are extending the life of ZEN 2 and the AM4 platform well into 2025 and beyond, with the announcements of a couple of new CPUs. So they've got some 3000 series CPUs, but more excitingly for most people will be a new lineup of Ryzen 5000 series CPUs, including XT variants. So this is pretty exciting news. It means that the AM4 platform extends its life well beyond 2024, where they 2025, where they said that they were going to support it. They've certainly kept their promise on the AM4 platform, which a lot of people jumped onto during that pandemic period and are still rocking hardware from it as we speak. So this is pretty good news. That means that there is a gaming and an upgrade platform for production and productivity applications as well. So I'm pretty happy about it because I'm still using the AM4 platform, and there are a couple of interesting variants of CPUs. First of all, AMD's got a couple of CPUs from the 3000 series stack that they will be updating, and they include the Athlon 3000G and the Ryzen 3 3200G, and also the Ryzen 5 3400G. So those CPU parts only have a 1 to 200 megahertz bump from their other counterparts, so we're not talking massive performance gains from these new processors. But what they do, particularly for the 3000 series, is keep AMD in that competitive market range with some cheaper CPUs. And you know what? I think this is not a bad idea because it's not hurting anyone. It's not costing anyone. It means that people like, if you guys remember my father-in-law Jono, who's also running on the AM4 platform, can get a nice little upgrade, and he has currently been rocking some retro gaming on his PC. So he's getting stuck back into the game. I think he's got a 4-core in his current CPU, so he's got one of the 3000 series APUs, and that Ryzen 5000 3400G would be an excellent upgrade for his system. So to get some good gaming and some stuff like that in, that is really exciting news. So I'm really looking forward to it. There's also a range of 5000 series XT products that are yet to be announced. AMD didn't reveal too much on what the 5000 series XT CPUs would be. I'm not expecting too much, but hopefully they have some options at the higher end, mid-range, and possibly even some X3D CPUs with a bit of extra cache for some extra gaming performance. That would be really exciting and actually bring the AM4 platform back to life, in my opinion. So here's hoping. Jono, look forward to a new CPU in your future, because some really good cheap options are coming our way in 2024, and I'm really excited. I think that AMD keeping their promise on supporting the AM4 platform right up until it's the end of its life cycle is a big win for most of us. It'll keep computer games hardware here going, so big thumbs up from me. Now, the big question is, will AMD support AM5 in the way that it supported AM4? Prices for RAM and CPUs have been dropping in recent times for the AM5 platform. With the release of ZEN 4 on the way, it will be interesting to see how long of lifespan the AM5 platform will get. Now, one thing to note with the AM4 CPUs is that not every motherboard will be able to support this, much like a lot of motherboards needed BIOS updates to be able to support the X3D models that were released earlier in the year. The same will likely happen here. So it's probably the higher end motherboards that will be able to support them, potentially with a BIOS update in the near future. Positive for that is that those more expensive options on the AM platform will be way down in price now. So even if you're thinking about getting one of these CPUs, the idea of a motherboard and relatively cheap last generation CPU might be a better option than upgrading to a new platform entirely. So that's all yet to be seen. Fingers crossed that is the outcome of that. I'm really looking forward to it. So keep yourself glued, like, share and subscribe on Computer Games Hardware, because that's something that we will be covering in the near future. Next up in the news, guys, we've got a little bit of PlayStation 5 Pro news to discuss as well. It's been reported by GameIndustry.biz early last week that some developers are talking about the new PS5 Pro not being really necessary due to the fact that the power in the current PS5 has yet to be used to its full potential. So the guys at GameIndustry.biz have been talking to industry experts about what they think about the new specs for the PlayStation Pro, and they've conceded that it will probably be a seller for Sony, and it will people will purchase the PS4 Pro, but probably unnecessary so, because developers are reporting that they're not really tapping into the full potential of the PlayStation 5 already. And that sort of tracks with me a little bit. We've yet to see a truly next gen title like GTA 6 or something like that hit the PlayStation. Everything's been cross-platform at this stage, and we're only now starting to get Unreal 5 engine games and games that are truly next-gen. So it doesn't surprise me. It's also been reported that dev kits are already in the hands of developers, and Sony have been pushing them to support Sony's new upscaling technology that will come out with the PS5 Pro. That is called PSSR upscaling technology. So they've implemented their own version of DLSS and FSR called PSSR, and Sony are urging developers to start using the tech, so that will be interesting to see. They've also been updating their PS5 Pro marketing. So much like with the PS4 Pro, Sony have been wanting to label things with the PS5 Pro enhanced logo, and that indicates that this game has been tailored to run at 4K 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. Now, this is a little bit disappointing news to me, because you'll remember that this was the target for the logo on the PS4 Pro. And I've really been annoyed about the specs for the PS5 Pro. Is it going to perform? Is it going to run at games at 4K 60? I was excited when they announced that it was 4K 120 hertz machine, because in my mind, much like PS4 Pro and the PlayStation 5 in previous years, they sort of overestimate the target by saying that it's 4K 120 hertz, and then realistically you're getting games that can barely do 4K 30 FPS. And to be honest, I'm a little disappointed about that, because that certainly indicates to me that titles like GTA 6 will not run at 4K 120 hertz for sure. Titles released even before them will not run at 4K 120 hertz. They will minimum be 4K 60 titles, and it's likely that they will be upscaled. So it's a bit of smoke and mirrors. I don't really mind it, but it's Sony selling it to you as a 4K 120 system is where I take issue, because you're not getting the value for money. You're getting upscaled technology, so you're not getting native 4K 120. You're not getting native 4K 60. You're getting an upscaled version of that, which, arguably, if they'd unlocked the technology in the PS5 initially, you would be getting that already. And I think that's what the developers are talking to in that untapped potential. It seems as though this technology can already run on the PS5 Pro, pointing to maybe the PS5 Pro being a little bit unnecessary, maybe even a bit too early. Maybe a rethink of the strategy might be, we can extend the life of this console with a enhanced PS5 Pro later down the line, and extend it out for a little while, because it's taking a little while to catch up. It's certainly taking games a little bit longer to hit that benchmark of 4K 30, 4K 60. Maybe they've played their cards a little too early here for PlayStation, but that's yet to be seen. Are you excited about the PS5 Pro? Will you be upgrading if you already own a PlayStation? Thinking about they've doubled the compute units in the GPU on the PlayStation, so they've doubled it from 30 to 60, but it's still not keeping up with the 72 compute units in the 6800 XT that's been sitting in my case for about 4 years now. So still catching up, still not quite there. So it'll be interesting to see what the new generation of consoles. So it's a pretty interesting time to be a gamer, with lots of stuff out on the horizon. So let's see how it goes. Just want to jump in here and let you guys know that if you're enjoying any of the content here on Computer Games Hardware, big thank you to watching the video. Hello to all our subscribers. Thank you very much for watching the videos, liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps me out. Big hi if you're new here. I'm Dan. We talk about PC games, hardware, tech, consoles, all computer games, hardware stuff. So, big thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. I owe you guys one, and look forward to plenty of more content on Computer Games Hardware. Alright guys, we've got some pretty exciting news about OLED Burn-in. So this is an older one, but research conducted by the University of Cambridge could stop burn-in on OLED gaming monitors and make manufacturing costs much cheaper. So as we all know, the adoption of OLED has been pretty significant, particularly in the gaming industry and in TV technologies. People really love looking at those inky blacks. Now, The issue for OLED burn-in comes from the emissions of energy from the blue light in the LEDs. This has long been a issue. It was an issue with plasma TVs as well, that there was no way to rein in the extra energy that comes from emitting the blue light, which in and of itself was a really difficult process to crack. So if you look up the history of LED technologies, it was the blue light that was always a major issue to overcome. The invention of the blue LED was quite a feat of ingenuity to overcome when it was introduced as well. The inventor, Suji Nakamura, if I'm saying that wrong, my apologies, he is a Nobel Prize laureate and the inventor of the blue LED. I highly encourage you to go look it up and find out the story of the blue emitting LED, because it is truly fascinating. Anyway, the issue that comes with it is that the blue LED emits more energy than is needed to emit the blue light. The researchers at the University of Cambridge have been able to create a shield that prevents the damaging emissions from this energy from hitting the vulnerable layers of the screen. So it's quite fascinating how they've done it. So I just thought that was noteworthy. So in the future, we may be getting inky black, beautiful OLED screens that will probably be called some new version of it that have no risk of burn-in. So if you've been hanging out for an OLED TV that doesn't burn in, your future is bright. Well, dark if we're looking at black. So look forward to that. All right, guys. So moving on from the AM4 platform onto the AM5 platform, with ZEN 5 soon to be released later in the years, there are some leaks and rumors and whisperings about ZEN 5's performance. So the new architecture is set to have up to 40% gains in IPC performance. So that sounds pretty impressive. We still don't know much about the ZEN 5 chips that are on the way, but we do know they're going to have some vast improvements over ZEN 4. They're going to have AI enhancements, and now some leaks and some early tests report even up to 52% in IPC gains, which is pretty mind-blowing. That's going to be really exciting for production and high-end gaming. Also, the new Strix Point APUs, which are said to have ZEN 5 cores paired with RDNA 3, so that's going to be pretty impressive too. There's plenty to go, and I am expecting the AM5 lineup to be announced at Computex, so that's in a couple of months' time. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll have plenty of AMD and ZEN news in the coming months to see if we can make an assessment whether we stick on the old AM4 platform or take the plunge and upgrade to ZEN 5. So looking forward to that. So keep it glued on Computer Games Hardware. Alright, so while we're talking AMD and leaks and rumors and things like that, it's also been reported that the new dies for RDNA 4 will specifically be targeting the sort of performance segment of the market. You might recall not too long ago, AMD announced that they were cancelling the Navi 41 die, so the big Navi for RDNA 4 was not going into production to focus on the more mid-range segment of the market, which is a little bit disappointing. I suggested that that might be that they're not going for the really high Halo products like the Titans and the 4090s and things like that, and will be targeting performance closer to the 7900 XTX. Well, it looks like AMD is going even lower than that, and they might be targeting a Navi 48 die, which is not as fast as Navi 31, so the 7900 XTX, but it will be a bit faster than the GRE model that was just recently released and unlocked. So it's going to sit somewhere in between those two cards for the next generation of RDNA 4 GPUs. And I've got a little bit of mixed feelings about that. Certainly we're entering a generation where upscaling AI and frame generation and all these amazing technologies are coming into play. AMD are promising that FSR 3.1 will have the best fidelity and the best upscaling possible, but it is a little bit disappointing that they won't be targeting that mid-range like they did with RDNA 2 and RDNA 3, because that really brought the burst of innovation, I think, to life with upscaling and all these things. I don't think it would have been possible if AMD weren't competitive in the GPU market. So it's a little bit disappointing to see that they're not at least targeting the the 4080 sort of range to compete with Nvidia. Similarly, recently Jensen Huang was clear that Nvidia is no longer a gaming company, and they are all in on AI, data center, and making a bright future as a technologist company rather than a gaming company. So that might be a shift within the industry in and of itself. Luckily, we also have another competitor that was introduced in the last couple of years with Intel and their Arc and Battle Mage series of GPUs. So hopefully some good can come from there. Intel have been excellent with their driver implementation. They just keep getting better and better and better. So hopefully we still get the same sort of performance that we would expect in a generation upgrade, even if we're not getting the sort of SKUs that we're expecting or the performance to come out of those SKUs. I still expect it to be excellent performance. There's also GDDR7 on the horizon, so I'm not sure with that type of performance if AMD are going to use GDDR7. They might stick with GDDR6. I believe GDDR6X is proprietary for Nvidia for whatever reason. I'm not sure who the memory chip manufacturers are for those ones, but I believe it's going to be either GDDR7 or GDDR6, nothing in between. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Again, we're expecting more news. This is just a brain assault thing, so chuck it over the shoulder. Make sure you don't hit Spidey. But there you go, some interesting tidbits there. So we're getting super fast CPUs, but the GPUs might be lagging a little bit behind for this generation. So who knows what the future holds. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I've had a really good time making this one. If you've had a good time watching it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And big thank you again to everyone, because I've noticed I've been asking recently to watch the videos because they really help me out. And you have been. I'm getting some good metrics there, so I really appreciate that. Guys, thank you very much for watching the videos and supporting the channel. It means a whole bunch to me. I'll keep making these ones if you keep watching them, and I will see you guys in the next one. So thanks for watching. See you next time.